Welcome please to the JVG podcast, where these G's are gonna spread their seeds of knowledge about the league. It's flourishing with these. These funny catchers seem to be well read, esteemed and honest. Like the man himself, Jeff Van Gundy. They are high IQ, so cerebral and funny. So if you're on the bus, just border on the dunny. Listen to the
JVG NBA Tribute Show.
Hello and welcome to episode 91 of the Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show. I'm your co-host Lukas, joined as always by my co-host Marco.
Lukas, thanks for having me.
How you going? I thought I'd bring something along for this episode. Do you want these to scrape off the cobwebs from the weekend? I was gonna initially make a feeling dusty joke, but I don't think we have a dustpan and shovel.
I think there's a potentiality for like a nice like sweep joke. You know, like if there had already been a sweep in the playoffs, could be like, oh, you know, who was doing more sweeping, like the Phoenix Suns or Marco after the dusty weekend he had. How
was the weekend?
It was really good. Like, it was a really, really fun festival. Really, really cute. I went to Inner Varnika, just in case you want.
Oh, that's not Inner Varnika.
It doesn't say Inner Varnika.
Same font.
Same vibe, I would say. Even.
Wobbly Algerian.
Yeah. Wobbly Algerian with an ER in there as well. It was a really cute festival. Like, small, beautiful landscape, nice sunset, great music, really primo music. The right balance of fun and weird, I would say. Yeah. How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Went to X Club on Friday night.
True.
And then watched sports all Saturday and I wanted it to be all of Sunday. But the weekend playoff games, so annoying. First one starts at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, like the Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's actually on for Americans to watch it during the day.
Yeah. It's really well set up if you are, like, American. But also, another thing that they just fuck up every single time is, like, the Toronto-Philadelphia Game 1 was on before the Denver Golden State Game 1. And the Toronto-Philadelphia game was over at halftime. And they played all the way through the end of the game. And they did a post-match interview as well. And then they cut to Golden State Denver. 7 minutes 44 left in the first quarter.
You're kidding me.
And I didn't catch the start of the Philadelphia-Toronto game, but apparently same thing happened with that game. It's like, I think Alessio said it in the GC. He was like, just common sense has to prevail.
Yeah, and it has to just be like alright, okay, these TV stations, right, got a lot of employees, got a lot of money. Surely there's someone who's sitting there and can like make the decision to be like, alright, it's probably better for everyone if we cut to the next game, you know? Yeah. It doesn't have to be a hard and fast rule, but yeah, it's common sense.
Yeah, and also, like, seeing the tip-off of a game... Come on, man. Seeing the tip-off of Golden State Denver is more important than seeing the tip-off... Or seeing the last minutes of a 4-5 matchup.
The difference in the way you process a game if you tune in at, like, 11:59 or 10:45 is, like, astronomical. Yeah. Those first few possessions are so, like... They're so integral to your understanding the game, but they're so integral to you getting into the groove of it as well. Like, whenever you turn on a basketball game halfway through, there's something just so jarring about it. Like, I don't know how he's been shooting. Yeah. Like, I don't know what sets they've been running. I don't know if their defense has been, like, abysmal. I don't know if this is, like, an aberration or if this is how they've been playing all game long. And yeah, like, do you need to watch garbage time in first round Eastern Conference matchup when potentially two of the funnest teams in the league are playing each other?
No. No to answer that. So I think that just has to be done better.
Right.
And yeah, you get the story of the whole game if you watch tip-off all the way through. Like, I feel like the most important... I reckon the first 6 minutes and the last 6 minutes are the most important for the game. Because, like, if you can see in the first 6 minutes if a team, like, it has been taken out of its groove, like, the game might be over.
Yeah.
Or they come back to the game and come back into the game and you see how bad they were and all the corrections they made and what, like, not only that they cut the lead, but why they needed to cut the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of questions that go unanswered. And you know what question was answered at halftime of the Philly-Toronto game?
What was that?
Who won game 1?
Right, exactly.
We knew all the questions were answered.
Am I getting ahead of myself if I dive straight into Philly Toronto?
No, we can do that, but first do you want some of these?
I would love some vanilla Coke.
Okay, now I'm just going to hold this up to the camera. I know you said act as if the camera
No. I think we're past that.
But does that not seem not full enough?
It doesn't look like it's 600 mils of vanilla Coke.
Yeah, and now this is the third thing that we've done physical comedy for. And if you do want to see these jokes, we are on YouTube now.
Ah, I see. This is like one of those like sort of like backdoor pilot sort of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, backdoor pilot.
I was gonna say like if you ever watch one of our podcasts on YouTube, because you might never do it.
Yeah.
And like I get that, but if you ever want to watch one, you should watch the last one until the video cuts out. Because I feel like that was the one where we were making the most physical jokes with the other members of the four-man weave.
And yeah, something that we do in the four-man weave plus Marco is like, well, I think I do it at least, but just make faces to someone that's not talking. Or like try and be a dickling to someone, like try and make someone laugh who's not been part of the conversation for a while. So yeah, I think that's a good point.
Or make like a little aside that doesn't really get picked up on the mic, but like between you and Sean Carroll, it's like it's a real major moment.
And this is probably the last episode I'm gonna watch because I watched the 89 one and I had to shut it off.
Yeah, fair enough.
I watched the episode 90, which was the 4-man plus Marco, and I only made up 20% of the participants, and I could just not look at me as well.
Yeah.
But I did learn a lot from it. And I feel like tomorrow's episode, I feel like the first two are kind of trial runs, and this is like our first like vlog era.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like, you hate to make commitments on mic, but that's what we're all about at the JVD NBA Tribute Show. But this will hopefully be the first one that comes out like concurrently with the actual audio podcast.
Yeah.
Because 89, it just took me a while to figure out what to do. 90 broke my computer. It was an hour and 45 minutes long, but yeah, it broke my laptop.
Yeah. Pretty cool to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
But also, I think that, look, 5 guys talking on a podcast, 5 white guys talking on a podcast, cringe call 5,000.
100%.
Seeing it, cringe call 6,000.
Oh my god, the new model. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you know, not to get too meta because we are on YouTube right now.
We are in the metaverse.
But like, you know, we're only on YouTube, so people who are on YouTube listen to our podcast.
Yeah, and the thing that I always come back to is like, it doesn't change the way it looks when we record it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's been recorded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right.
But no, happy to be here. Whatever, you can buy one of these.
You can go to well, we don't really have a website, but
we have an Instagram.
Yeah,
it's on the bottom banner. Anyway, Toronto, Philly.
Dude, should we just dive in then? I guess.
I think we should dive in.
I think from what you're saying, halfway through that game, you knew that Philly had won Game 1. I think it also like just completely skewed my expectations and predictions of that series, because I think as we discussed last week, like we're all pretty hot on the idea of Toronto beating Philly and Harden kind of being a bit shit, and you know, apart from, you know, if the only thing that Toronto had to do was slow down Embiid, then it would be a pretty winnable series for them. And I think this game just blew all of that completely out of the water.
Yeah.
Number one, of course, being Tyrese Maxey, who had, what was it?
38. The Terrence Mann game.
But I think it was more than he had 38. He made like Toronto's kind of their army team look like they didn't have all the length and like stopping ability that we think that they do. Because like, if you think about like all those 6'9", 7-foot wingspan guys, the whole idea is like, you know, they can defend guards, they can defend inside, they're sort of long enough that you can't just like dribble past them. And that's what Maxey was doing all game. Like whoever switched onto him, like he had no trouble penetrating. And there'd be like 3. There'd be like Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and it would be like, it would just be like there was traffic cones between him and the net. Obviously, he was hitting his 3-point shot. He was hitting absolutely every shot that he took. But I think, for me, that was the biggest surprise. It was like, well, I didn't even think that stopping Maxey would be something that that Toronto had to think about in this playoff series.
Yeah, and I think that we're all wrong. None of us even made mention of Maxey in episode 90, which is really bad. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be wrong not backing Harden than to be wrong backing Harden. And I didn't back Harden. He's played pretty well. First game he had 22 and 14. Second game he had 14, 6 and 6. But I feel like his numbers didn't really budge from halftime today.
Yeah.
And it did feel like it was another blowout. They won by 20 points today, the Sixers, and they won the second half by 2 points. So they went into the half. 18 points up again, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I sense a pattern.
Yeah, I think with Harden, it's less like I think this is one of the numbers don't tell the full story thing.
Yeah.
Like, he actually looked like he really cared. He looked aggressive. I was so impressed. I always forget how strong James Harden is when he needs to be. Like, again, this is like one of the most athletic, like bulky teams in the league, and he was just fucking like backing down every single member of their defense. Like, he was posting up. He was just like pushing himself into the paint, getting to the ring, and that he just hasn't been doing that since maybe like his first 2 or 3 games in Philly. Yeah,
he was crazy those first couple of games. Another thing, Tobias Harris has 46 points on 25 shots through the first 2 games of the series. And that's another thing, like this is a very half-baked thought I have right now, or I've kind of been thinking it. Are Philly, are they able to just turn it on? And were they just coasting through the regular season? Because the Milwaukee Bucks did that last season, and it turned out really well for them.
Yeah.
They were the last team standing. So is that a part of the 76ers DNA? But also, if you can drop 46 points on 25 shots in the playoffs, Tobias Harris, why aren't you helping your team a little bit more in the regular season? To get a couple more wins during the regular season.
Yeah.
That seems weird.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, obviously Embiid isn't just turning on for the playoffs, you know? He's been having a tilt at MVP very clearly all season. Oh my god. But what struck me about this is how, building on that, is how quickly they went into a playoff rotation. You know? When I look at the starting 5 from these 2 games, Maxey, Harden, Harris, Danny Green, Joel Embiid, I'm that's a conference finals type thing, you know? You have 4 really good players, and you have and you have Danny Green, who's been a signature role player on several championship winning teams.
Yeah, starting shooting guard on 3 different rings.
Yeah.
That counts for something,
that
man.
really counts for something. The other thing that stood out to me is Matisse Thybulle. I think he averaged about, I want to say 25, 26 minutes a game in the regular season, and it seemed that he's been a really important part of their D. Obviously he has, but he's played 18 and 10 minutes across these 2 games. I mean, you know, in game 2 he racked up 3 blocks in those 10 minutes, so that's a pretty effective 10. Yeah. Do you think that's he's not fitting their sort of playoff style, or is this let's not rely on him against Toronto for when we have to go there without him?
Yeah, I think number 2.
Yeah.
I think number 2. I think number 2. I don't think it's that deep at all. I think it's we're gonna have to play at least 2 games in Toronto.
Yeah.
Let's not rely on Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll probably be getting 20. Where's number 22?
Yeah.
I reckon he'll be getting about 22 minutes a game.
Okay.
As the playoffs progress and as he is part of the plan for a full series. But that's also another element of how well the 76ers are doing against the Raptors. We haven't really made any mention of Joel Embiid in the first 2 games of this series, because he's just he's just been himself throughout the regular season. He had actually the first game he didn't play too well, but the game he wasn't needed to. He dropped 19 points.
Exactly.
Second game he had 31 on 16 shots. But he's just been the centerpiece, and he's been consistent, and it's he's providing that structure, and everyone else is working off it so well. And nothing to note here. He's an MVP candidate.
In the second game today, he shot 12 free throws in the first quarter, and then shot 2 for the rest of the game.
Refs versus Embiid.
But yeah, I agree exactly with what you've just said. Like he doesn't need to do more than that. It's a testament to how good Philly actually are that he doesn't need to do more than that. Even though this is just a first round matchup, like we all really, really valued the Raptors going up against them. And I think the fact that he's had he had that like quiet first game and a very quiet 31 points today, I thought as well, just sort of speaks to the fact that there's more in the tank for Embiid. Yeah. Like part of me was like, will Embiid have to have 45 in like every game to win the series? I think we've just like completely undervalued every single member of the Philly roster.
But I think it's been fair because the only guy we really had stock in from the regular season was Maxey, and he's a baby. We were all fair enough to critique Harden and Harris throughout the regular season. And just none of us had the foresight to say they were going to turn it around. Because Harden hasn't really over the past few years. Sorry. Over the past year, maybe couple of years, not few. And Tobias Harris there has been a case for him, not being a playoff performer. I want to say last season, and then this season, he just coasted.
But it's this classic thing with Harris where it's like when he slides from like the second to the fourth option, or like in between that, like his value as a player just changes incredibly. He obviously just can't he can't be that crucial to an offense. He can't cope with that. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I don't want to make that claim. I don't want to make that claim on video. But I think he is more opportunistic. Yeah. He likes finding spots within the breakdowns and stuff. And that works. That works next to Maxey, Embiid, and Harden.
Oh my god, when you put it like that, it's like there are three players who are breaking down the D in so many different ways each. That's kind of his specialty, I suppose. Yeah.
Like if they can get 70, let's say if they can get 76 off of Embiid, Maxson, and Hardy. Embiid, Maxson, and Hardy. If they can get 76 off of those three.
Oh my god.
Then I think that the 25 from Tobias Harris becomes a lot more realistic. That's 100 points. And then, then you have your 3s, your 5s, your 8s from the role players. It's 125 points every night.
Yeah, damn. Yeah. Do you think, are there going to be any surprises for the rest of this series? Like, do you see the Raptors stealing more than a game?
No. So there's I feel like there's this threshold with Embiid, a height threshold that they just don't feel. Yeah. They just don't have. And we thought that they were going to be able to cover it up with their defensive system, but we were wrong. Yeah, and it's not like they've been playing bad at all.
I think Fred VanVleet, he started today really hot and then he ended up a bit garbage. But Scotty Barnes was looking so mature in the first game. Yeah. And they would have obviously missed him today, but if missing Scotty Barnes, okay, sure, maybe the rookie of the year means that you lose by 20 points in a playoff first round game, then you're probably not going to win it if he's in that game. Yeah. So I wouldn't see anything more than a 4-1 here. Yeah. No, I think I'm going to say sweet. Sweet. Yeah. Damn. Unfortunately. Love that. Do we want to move on to another series? Yeah, we've got 11 minutes until Boas. I have to ask you, where were you when you found out that the Pelicans had made the playoffs? I think I was walking back from the toilet. At the Dust Bowl. Yeah, I think it was I would have loved it. I would have loved it to be on the dance floor, really good music playing, and I'm talking to someone oh, you like basketball? I'm yeah. Did you see the playing result today? I'm the Pelicans won. And I actually met one guy, Gatai was his name, who's shout out Gatai if you're listening. I don't think I ever gave you the name of the podcast, actually. He was a big NBA fan. And I saw him on the Monday, and he's I'm going to go to the top of the hill because I got reception and to watch the playoffs. Oh my god. Did you go with him? No. But my phone died really quickly. I didn't have much internet. But I did open up the box scores in like the last minute. And I was like, oh my god, wait, what? And like I hadn't seen that Paul George was out.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen, you know, what happened during the game. I was just like, oh wow, we're like 2 points up with a minute to play.
Yeah.
And we have the ball. Like I think we're gonna win this and we're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've been taking everything since the CJ trade has just been like a bonus, and it's been like, okay, well, like what result? It's not about the result we get out of the season. It's about how like well we play going out of the season. But fuck, like get into the first round, and like obviously the Suns are gonna absolutely spank us. But like looking like a playoff basketball team, that's like an achievement in and of itself.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Yeah.
1-12 you guys were.
Yeah.
And getting a beat down from the Suns is, I reckon, man, you know, like the young players will take what they will from it, but I think that there's so many positives to getting a beat down from the Suns. Like they made the finals last year. Oh, they're going to be in a 6 series against the Warriors this year. And man, if they go into the half with a 20-point lead, they're coming out of the game with like a 35-point win. Like they'll just keep beating down on you and keep beating down on you. And I think that it'll probably be heartbreaking, but there's just so much to learn, and there's so much like that's how far away we are from being good. That's just something you're going to see, your players are going to see on the court, and I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think especially Brandon Ingram, he's young, but he's in his 6th season in the NBA, and he's getting his first playoff experience now.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's right.
It is.
Yeah, and for him, you know, when he is going to have like a near 30-point game, like a good, efficient near 30-point game, we'll still lose the game for sure. But like to do that against like, you know, Mikal Bridges, this whole Suns team, one of the best teams in the league. Yeah, there's just going to be so much value to take from that. And in what was just looking like a just completely useless season.
Yeah. Also, you guys have 10 less wins than losses, and the Suns have 46 more wins than losses. And, you know, that's obviously a big gulf. But yeah, that's another thing. You'll see that gulf in action.
Do I have anything else to say about this, really? Not really, man. That Clippers game, I was just watching it earlier, and we had the funniest closing lineup. It was like CJ, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and Larry Nance.
Trey Murphy hit a massive three.
I know. But it was just so it was like, oh cool, this is what you do at like the end of playoff games, is you put like your 5 most medium-sized players on the court. Your 5 guys who can all maybe hit a 3. And you just see what happens.
Yeah.
And it was exciting seeing our team like in that mode, because I feel like in the regular season, like you keep Jonas Valanciunas on, even when you're like within 1 or 2 points. But this was like full blown do or die sort of a play style. And Trey Murphy hasn't had the best season, but he's been playing really well like the last 15 games. And so for him to like be breaking, he had 25 minutes against Phoenix. So for him to be like seriously breaking into the rotation in the playoffs is like such an experience again.
Yeah, and it's good to see like Willie Green's 5-year plan in action. And like he has one. Larry Nance Jr. was so big for you guys in the playing game.
Yeah.
He missed those 2 free throws at the end, but that was just to prove he was more. But like I think he had 6 or 8 points off of putbacks. And then the Trey Murphy 3 at the end. Like these are such handy points, but I like this word that Sean used in last week's episode of The Deep too. It does feel repeatable. Like with the way you guys break or play the pick and roll offensively, it really does seem like go for the shot instead of the lob, and then Larry will clean it up if it comes to it. And then Trey Murphy hitting that 3, I think like he just felt like it was going in when he took it, and it felt natural, and it felt like something that he's meant to be doing. Like it felt like that's what he's meant to be doing. And you got CJ, Zion, hopefully if he returns next season, Ingram, Valanciunas, Larry Nance Jr., Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. That's 7 really. I think that's really good pieces moving forward.
And don't forget Grand Theft Alvarado.
Very good.
He'll get surely he's got to get one backcourt steal on Chris Paul.
Oh, if it's on Chris Paul, that'll be everything. Do you see you guys getting a win?
I don't see us getting a win, but also I have like intentionally tapered my expectations.
Yeah.
For like the last 10 Pelicans games.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good.
But I just think we'll make it competitive. I think that's the main thing. Is I think our first home game, even if Phoenix win it, like it's going to be 5 points, 10 points, something like. We only lost by 11, like in the first game, which isn't like the Phoenix Suns first round experience that I'm used to.
Yeah.
And it's almost an honor to like get the Chris Paul treatment, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's an honor that we were this is Chris Paul's first 30-point game this season.
Nice. I think that's great perspective. It felt like, I don't know, man. It was 11-point loss, but it was really a halftime game.
The golf was a lot bigger there, but you get what I mean. Like,
yeah. No, definitely. I think it'll be a sweep. I think that I was trying to think about it from like the perspective of a 9 seed who has to. They win the first playing game at home, then they go on the road and win a game, then they stay on the road for the first 2 games of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That first game home, that game 3 of the first round must be so nice. Like you must wake up on the day of the game feeling so good.
Yeah.
Not to mention every single game is a high pressure situation.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 games are like quote unquote game 7 scenarios, and then the first 2 games are against the 1 seed of your conference. So that game 3 must be like the first time you get to breathe in like a week.
Yeah, it's gonna be cathartic, and I feel like that'll be like our homecoming. You know, that'll be like the opportunity for the fans to be like, good job this season.
Yeah.
Because we're not expecting anything out of this series. So I think that will be... And man, like, I have to say, I thought we had the worst fans in the league. In terms of like, and it's true, like, no one in New Orleans watches basketball.
Yeah.
But like, since it's become apparent that we were like potentially going to make the playoffs, every game has been absolutely electric. Like the crowd in the first playing game against the Spurs was just like insane. I've never been to a Pelicans game. I've never seen anything like that at a Pelicans game.
Yeah.
And so I think that game 3, I'm just excited for the experience of it. I think. Yeah.
Well, happy for you.
Yeah. That was such a not very basketball-y chat. Just like good vibes from the last few New Orleans Pelicans games.
What would you like to know about next?
You got a preference?
Not really. I think maybe Nuggets Warriors.
Yeah, let's do it.
You said it about Maxey against the Raptors that like they've got all these 6'9" height, 7-foot wingspan guys that can defend every position. But man, Maxey was just licking his lips when he got any of them against him. Aaron Gordon's this defensive stopper extraordinaire and second coming of Jesus. Jordan Poole, oh my god, he just made him look awful.
Yeah.
Like he didn't make him look silly, he made him look dumb and bad at defending. And I think that kind of contextualizes just how good guards are at getting to the rim, and that maybe it's a playoff thing. Like it's once it becomes a high leverage situation, it's like, okay, no, like I've been in this situation before. I've got this big on me. I have to make the most of it because this is fucking money's on the line. The Nuggets are... Oh, man, I don't know if they're going to win a game.
No.
I was really thinking, even after the first game, that they would win one at home. But they look really awful.
Yeah.
And I think that the Warriors' biggest concern, or their biggest task coming into the playoffs, is how are we going to stop Jokic? How are we going to stop Embiid and Giannis if we come up against them in the finals? And I think they're going to... Like, if they can prove that they can sweep Jokic's team to themselves... then I think that'd be a massive check off.
Yeah, they did just everything right. In that first game, I think to set up the second game, if that makes sense. Everyone was hitting their shots. They were making Denver's perimeter defense just looked absolutely atrocious. And Jokic has been such a good defender, but there's nothing that a player like him can do with like Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, even Andrew Wiggins, like all coming off the perimeter. And then like it's worked twice, just putting a body on Jokic, not even worrying about like putting him off his shot, just like put Kevon Looney there, put Nemanja Bjelica there, and just let him whack into him, and it will like frustrate him and tire him enough that like he'll be a bit off later, or he'll get double teched up as he did in game 2. And like the only way the Nuggets were going to win this series if Jokic averaged like 35 points or something like that. I think the only way they're going to win a game is if he has like a 40-point game.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because they have their offense has been abysmal from every other player, and then their defense has been abysmal just all around. And I think like the Warriors should be so happy that they have like 3 players just completely in their offensive groove, like in fitness. Like once Steph is fully, I mean, he had 34 points in 23 minutes today, so it didn't matter that he wasn't like at full fitness. And then also that like Andrew Wiggins is kind of knowing his place. Like, like he's taken 20 shots across these 2 games, and I think he's had 16, and he had 16 in the first, and then he had 13 today, and that's like. That's good. That's like as much Wiggins as you want. Yeah. And it means, and it's that same thing where it's like, you're not relying on Wiggins like creating offense. You're just letting him feed off the cracks that everyone else creates. Similar to that Tobias Harris thing, which is like, he hasn't known that play. He hasn't known that that's who he has to be in the offense all season. Yeah. God, there's so many parallels. Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. And then obviously Draymond is just like, he just seems so focused, and he seems so geared to win another championship. Like he's just on every possession, he's just like fully switched on, defensively and offensively. And every time he does anything, it's just this fucking like infectious energy. Yeah. Whenever he gets a block or like the 2 times a game, he just absolutely slams it home. Yeah. Like, you're like, oh, this guy's hunting another championship.
Man, he must just be so bored during the season. Like, just honestly waiting for the playoffs. Yeah. Give him 82 games at TNT next year. And let him just play 100%. The last however many. For real. It looks like he's having more fun there, and he's actually really good on TV.
Yeah.
So Iggy is out. Don't know his timetable for return. But if Draymond's out and they use Wiggins, Porter, Looney, Bjelica to cover up what he does, maybe you even go to Kuminga if he's out, then the holes really start to show. Yeah, but if you use that same cast of players to replace Iggy, it works. And I think a lot of that has to do with... So, previously, the Warriors' big 3 in scoring has been Kyrie, Thompson, wing, which has been Harry Barnes and Clay and Kevin Durant. But now all 3 of them are guards. Now Poole is that 3rd guy, and I think that opens that Iggy roll up to be a forward, because he's been like a backcourt, frontcourt flex when playing with those other 2 cores. And yeah, I think that if one of... Oh no, that's not what we're talking about. But those 3 guys allow Iggy and Draymond to not need to be a part of the offense.
Yeah, or not need to take a shot.
Or be relied upon.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even like, when Bjelica played his first game for the Warriors, like Sean Carroll of the Deep 2 NBA very, pointedly said like, yeah, he's not going to play a minute in the playoffs. Which seemed right, but I think the thing is that like they've reduced at that point in the season. It's like, oh, he needs to be hitting his threes, and like he needs to be working in the post or whatever. And then like he doesn't need to do that now. He needs to be like that body, that like okay, like elbow operator, like who can play make like a little bit, because you have Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry who can just be like completely the rest of the offense. I still think this team would be just like crazy if they had like one good 7-footer though.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It would change everything.
Yeah.
But what's crazy good? Do you want like a Steven Adams, or do you want like an option, inside, a cat?
I just think you want like a JaVale McGee or something. You know?
They had him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I guess I get what you mean. Like they don't even have the option as a backup 7-footer.
Yeah. Like you want the. I mean, yeah. It was even like the only Andrew Bogut highlights I will ever watch are like Steph Curry lobbing to Andrew Bogut. You know, you just want that. You want that as just the occasional option. I think.
Yeah. How have you felt watching Poole? Because I feel like he was like he ebbed and flowed throughout the regular season, and like both of these games have been at home, to be fair. But he's been so good and like so ready for it and so wanting it.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared. Like the Warriors might actually just have a Steph Curry replacement ready to go, and but like not even like maybe he'll grow into it. Like he's fucking doing everything that Steph has done. Like he's not gonna be the greatest shooter of all time, but he's pulling up from everywhere, and he's getting every shot he wants to go off and to go in. And it's kind of scary. Like how has this team done it again?
Yeah. To come back to a point you've been making since the beginning of this podcast, Steph Curry being the best teammate. How about Steph just like, oh yeah, I'll come off the bench.
Yeah.
Like I'm on minutes. Yeah, it makes so much more sense to come off the bench. I don't need to worry. I don't need the GS to be 1 on Basketball Reference. I don't need that to happen.
Yeah. Surely this is the first time he's ever come off the bench in the playoffs.
No, I actually think he came off the bench maybe a couple of years ago against Portland when he came off an injury. Okay. But I can't remember. But I think he might have had another one.
Yeah. No, I love it, and also it just means like. It's just been no doubt that Jordan Poole is like the primary point guard operator, in this series at the moment. Like every offensive set sort of flows from him in one way or another.
Yeah.
Which is just insane. What the hell?
What do you want to move on to next?
This guy wasn't even the most improved player finalist.
Oh, God. Let's not even talk about it, man.
I wanted. What was your take on the Minnesota Memphis game? Because I've only watched the highlights of that, and it just looked nuts.
I didn't catch it because it was one of those early morning games.
Yeah.
But I think again, fucking can't stop talking about the guy, Sean. So that this could be similar to Memphis Utah of last year, where Minnesota's on this hot stretch coming out of the play-in, and they get game 1.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. Man, I might pick him for MVP next year. Like for real, if he's doing this in his second season, it's his second season.
Yeah.
Like if he's doing this in his second season, then that year 2 to 3 jump is just going to mean more consistency with the high 20-point games, and people are going to want to vote for him. Like who doesn't want to vote for him?
Yeah, right. I mean, surely it will be like a jar for MVP thing this season, where it's like he's this what do you call him, a junior in his third season in the NBA, and he's like just improved astronomically. And similar sort of situation, like very good rookie, very high expectations rookie, and it's just like taking step after step after step.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that he looked just like far and away the best player on the court. Far and away the most important part of Minnesota's offense, and just that sort of relentless, I'm going to get whatever shot I want and make it work. And his 3-point shooting is just he's not taking open threes at all. He's really searching them out, and they just didn't really have an answer to him either.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I think he could become one of those players where it's like, what, you can't just like put one of the best perimeter defenders in the league on him to shut him down. Like you need to have like a more nuanced game plan to shut him down. Obviously, what will happen with Minnesota in this series is Memphis will start to target Anthony Edwards on defense. And then it's like, well, okay, is he dropping 36 points or is he letting 46 points in?
Yeah. I can't give any takeaways with clarity from the first game.
Yeah.
And I think my main point for this series would be watch game 2. Because I feel like that'll be the most telling. Because there is a potential for consistency between games, but there also isn't. Like from Minnesota's side. Yeah. Because Memphis didn't have a great game, and the Timberwolves did have a great game.
Yeah. Okay, my one other thing would be watch the Steven Adams Cat matchup, because I think Steven Adams might not be a good matchup with Cat.
Damn, good call. Yeah, he smoked him in the first game.
Yeah. I've always seen Steven Adams as he's like the anti-center, you know, like he's the black hole for centers.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to defend any center in the league, even if he's not like an elite rim protector. Like he knows what to do to put them off their game. And he was just looked completely lost. Like he just had his back turned to him all game long. And Cat didn't, you know, again, Cat had like a quiet 29 points.
Yeah. And Cat is also kind of the anti-center. The anti-center.
Oh my god!
Because he likes sitting behind the line and like giving space to Ant and the other guards, and then he likes taking centers off the dribble.
Yeah.
And I think Adams loves staying within the key, staying within the box, step away from his player, and then he loves getting physical.
Yeah.
And I think Cat loves getting physical in theory, but I think Cat knows that if his team has to win a game, that it's going to be shooting over his defender.
Cat's not like Embiid, right? Embiid loves like just absolutely bumping into someone, and then as soon as they like flick him in the nose, he falls to his knees. Which Adams like is so good at against, because he's like, well, I'll just get physical right back at you. Like you're not gonna be able to move me at all. Whereas but Cat isn't actually like that. Like it's much more finesse. Like you said, taking off the dribble, shooting over them. And I don't think Steven Adams has it in his game to like really defend that.
Yeah. Damn. Wow, that's crazy. My favorite center in the league is probably Steven Adams, and my least favorite is probably Cat. And I'm not like, there's no argument I can make to like defend Adams in this scenario.
Yeah.
And I Cat's just better than him.
Yeah,
Cat wins this matchup.
I didn't think about it until I watched the highlights in this game, but yeah, I think that's like the matchup that Minnesota will like. If they want to win another game in that series, that's what they have to go after. Yeah.
But do you reckon maybe should they put like Triple J on him?
Oh yeah, I guess so. I mean, that would make sense actually.
Or start Brandon Clark instead.
What, like instead of Adams? I just think it would be. I think benching your starting center, who's been so important for your offense, your defense, and also like his chemistry with your star player and starting point guard, is like it's a bit much too soon.
Yeah.
If Minnesota win the next game and Cat has 29 and 13 again, then you go like, okay, is that what the issue is? But like we know if Adams and Ja get into a groove, like that combination isn't something the Cat's going to be able to defend against, or that D'Angelo Russell's going to be able to defend against, for example. You know.
That's another thing I've completely overlooked, is just like so many of Ja's buckets at the rim come from a Steven Adams screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you reckon Luka's going to play?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
That's so sad.
I feel like the timeline is that he could be ready by game 5, but I'm just not getting that vibe at all. This series is just, and there's no draw card at all here without him there. But I feel like the way Dallas played today is they're trying to stay in it in case Luka comes back. You know.
Yeah.
They obviously haven't written off the season and been like, okay, like we know this, but no one else does. But Luka's not coming back.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that Simmons is going to come back before Luka.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God.
Because I feel like they've highlighted. I think they said they're highlighting game 4 for his potential return.
Jesus.
And I just feel like usually when a player's coming back in a series, well, like if it's like a day-to-day thing, like Lukas is being treated, there's more buzz around they'll be questionable for tomorrow. Game time decision for tomorrow.
Right.
I feel like with Luka, it keeps coming out, it's like unlikely for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a real shame because you just would really... I don't know. I think I don't want to see the Jazz get to the second round is the main point, but then also you'd love to see Luka in the second round in whatever capacity because it's going to be a great. Like, will that be against? That'll be against Phoenix. No. Yes.
That would be. But like, I would love that for to see the Jazz get absolutely just throttled by the Suns.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And you know what's so nice about the Jazz Suns series potentially is that the lineups match up so well. Gobert and Ayton, D-Mitch versus probably Booker.
Yeah.
Maybe CP3 as well, but you can just make like for like comparisons.
Yeah. Kobe Jordan.
But yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
Don't have to talk about that series. I wanted to say one thing about that series. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I actually didn't. I really didn't.
Alright, well, we've talked about all the game one games. Day one games. We have 3 East series to talk about.
True.
Hawks, Heat, Nets, Celtics, Bulls, Bucks.
Oh my god. Well, Heat Hawks, we can knock that off pretty quickly.
Yeah. GS, I think the same reason, which is gentleman's sweep, the same reason that what I said about like the 9 seed making the playoffs, getting game 3 at home. They got just absolutely killed in game 1. Like, I don't know, there's nothing else you can say. There is actually no reporting to be done on game 1. Duncan Robinson hit 8 of 9 threes. The Heat were just vibing. The ball was just vibing around the court, and it kept touching Heat players. That's always happening.
Yeah. I think my takeaway from like the beginning of the Eastern Conference playoffs is that a lot of these Eastern Conference teams, I think we've taken for granted how good they are because they've been so close all year. Like,
true.
Miami, they're just really good. Like, they've got to be the favorite to come out of the East, I think. And again, like what we were talking about with Philly, like I think we just really underestimated how good a team they were. But just because, injuries, whatever, everyone being really good in the East, it was like, there's no Phoenix Suns of this conference. There's no team who you're just sure is going to win the first round, with absolute ease. But yeah, Atlanta have absolutely nothing to answer with here. Trey he'll have a couple of great games.
Yeah.
He had a stinker that couldn't have helped, but he could have had 40 points. I don't think it would have really made a difference to the result of this game. Also, Kyle Lowry is he's gonna probably put him in a wheelchair by the end. He was bullying the shit out of him. And it's very interesting. It's great seeing a player get under Trey's skin and he doesn't know how to react to it because Larry's his height, He can't do this sort of arcing up to the big guy looking like the spunky cool little kid. It's like Larry's this like funny shaped 35-year-old and he's gonna own your ass for the entire series.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that the Heat are the favourite to come out of the East. I still think it's the Bucks.
You still think it's the Bucks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the Bucks are coming up against a much better opponent than
that's true.
Than the Heat are. And to just slide on over to the Bucks-Bulls series, I do see the Bulls winning. I actually see it going to 7, potentially.
Wow.
But it being the least competitive 7-game series ever. Or going to 6 or 5.
Right.
I think the Bulls win a game.
Yeah.
But I think the games that the Bulls win are on the Bucks coasting. And the games that the Bucks win will just be like, take that win, take that win, take that win.
I'm like live making the same mistake about the Bucks that everyone made last year. They just look like they're coasting. It's like,
that's a good thing.
That's because they're gonna win the ring.
And coasting for the Bucks is like Middleton chucking up a lot of deep 2s and 3s. Drew probably passing more than he's attacking. Giannis going full pelt the whole time. Like that's undeniable. That's like, you're not going to be able to stop that. And that's a lot to handle. Like, as the Bulls, that's a lot of pressure to handle non-stop.
Well, I mean, I think we know that the Bulls are going to get hamstrung with this team at some point in the next, 2 or 3 years. If not, in the next 6 months. Because, exactly. What do you do about Giannis? They don't have anything to... they don't even have a Kevon Looney to throw in, for example. So I think it's interesting that you think it's going to be competitive, but I also agree because of how much the Bucks looked like they were coasting in that first game and still managed to win it.
Yeah, and a good sign for the Bulls fans is that DeRozan, Vooch, and Levine combined for 31 makes on 71 takes, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely below all of their averages.
Yeah.
But also that happened as a result of good Bucks D.
Yeah.
I feel like, Levine, DeRozan, and Vooch can say as much as they want, I had a bad shooting night, but it's like, the Bucks stake their claim on their D, and then they just their offense is like, what did you say about the Pelicans? It's like anything after the CJ trade was just like,
it's just like
loose change.
Yeah.
The offense is like loose change. It's like we're gonna kill you on the defensive end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, there's just one more series to talk about. And I feel like we're getting the the wrap up signal from our producer. But Nets Celtics.
Oh my god, what? I think this is going to be even more classic than we were sort of expecting it to.
Yeah.
Because man, this had everything. Like, this had Kyrie being an absolute dickling and dropping 39 points. This had Kevin Durant looking mortal. Not just not just on offense, but being like, oh wow, are there ways to exploit Kevin Durant on defense? And I think the answer was yes there. And then that game winner was just incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah. And that's up with the second to go.
I know.
I think you bench Tatum, Brown, and Smart next game because KD's gonna win the game.
Yeah.
I feel like KD's gonna drop at least. I think 40 is guaranteed. He'll probably drop 50. So I just reckon don't waste them.
Yeah.
There is no way that the Nets come out of this second game with an L.
Yeah.
There is no way.
Yeah.
But phenomenal game, tremendous game. Also, Al Horford had 20.
Yeah, 20 and 15.
And 15. Jesus.
I don't think the answer to not having Robert Williams was there, but I think it was like they were getting more production out of the rest of their team than you expected them to. I think there was a bit of can Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown just combine to power past this this Nets team? Will their D be so much worse than ours that we can take advantage of it? And I think it was just more Al Horford is still a really talented basketball player.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart, he can score. He can be a part of the offense if you need him to. But man, the Brooklyn Nets defense is just it's just interesting because it shouldn't be a problem, but it just keeps showing itself to be a problem. I feel like they have good enough players everywhere else. They shouldn't have to worry about not really having a rim protecting center and not having tons and tons of good perimeter defense. But it looked like it in this game.
Also, Dragic looked really good.
Yeah?
I think that another just playoff guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the only guy I didn't doubt, though.
Yeah.
I feel like I doubted all these players that had proved in the playoffs so many times how good they were, and just doubted them again. But Dragic was the only one I was like, he'll probably just be really handy for maybe not 14, maybe 18 instead of 14. Maybe that's his only downfall. Getting 14 instead of 18. But I think it's just the finishing fives that could be the issue. On the Nets side, KD, Irving, Durant, Irving, Curry kind of have versatile games. Whereas on the Celtics side, Tatum, Horford, Smart, Brown, Williams, and White all offer a lot. Yeah. And I feel like with the Nets, there are a lot of concessions that you make that are, papered up by Irving and Durant. But still, I think just it's 5v3.
Yeah, and I think Derek White he looked so much more valuable than what he was contributing, if that makes sense. Him just being on the floor made them look better. I think just as it's he's a threat. He's a threat. Even if he's your fifth threat, on the floor. And I don't think the Nets have that player.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The X factor.
Yeah, exactly.
The Derek White redemption series.
What did you think about Kyrie's post-game comments, I guess?
Man. Oh, that was fucking really annoying, actually.
Yeah.
I think he was pissed off. And he was like, I think the thing that pissed me off was that when he was like, I think it's kind of weird that we have to come in after a game and talk to you guys, to the reporters. And I was like, bro, like, shut up. Why are you complaining?
Yeah.
You're getting paid, like, what, 35 mil? And this is in your contract.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't some shit that you just do just out of generosity.
Yeah.
It's part of your contract. It's your wage.
Yeah. I think Kyrie needs to embrace being more of, like, a fucking not annoying villain.
Yeah.
Like, because in the pre-game when he's like giving the fingers to the fans behind his head, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Do that, but then they're also gonna say "fuck you, motherfucker." Like, every time you touch the ball and boo the shit out of you. But like, I think you can deal with that. Like, I think Kyrie Irving is genuinely like mature enough to deal with that sort of thing. And it's like, if they give it to you, you give them back, and then that is going to be some of the most watchable basketball ever.
Yeah. And
if you win that series, you're going to come out with the fucking biggest chip on your shoulder ever.
Yeah. Last year, Trae Young and the Hawks versus the Knicks. That was such a fun storyline.
Yeah.
Like, why do you not want to repeat that?
Yeah.
Because also, do you want to be the villain?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you've been forced into being the villain because you are a villain.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, at this point, like, why is this like the straw that broke the...
Of everything in Kyrie Irving's career, this is the moment he's like kind of upset, and it's like, you were antagonizing them like literally 48 minutes ago.
You're antagonizing everyone.
Yeah. And I would love it. I would love it if you just left all the like whinging aside and kept on with all the like dickishness or the stomping on the logo and the giving people the finger and stuff like that. Like, I don't give a shit about that.
All right.
Well, should we wrap up quickly? Player from the series, Marcus Smart, 1 DPOY.
Oh yeah.
What's your take?
Yeah, I'm happy. I feel like I've seen a lot of buzz on Twitter, a lot of noise on Twitter saying
a lot of noise out there on Twitter
that they're not happy. They're not happy with the DPOY selection as Marcus Smart for a multitude of reasons. I've been unhappy 4 of the last 5 seasons.
Yeah. I'm like less. I thought I'd be kind of upset when this happened, and I'm completely fine with it. Like, I think, as Doris Burke put it, the best defender on the best defense.
Yeah. Like,
giving them DPOY makes sense if there's no other sort of clear standout. I think if Robert Williams was healthy, I don't know if he wins it, but I don't think Marcus Smart wins it. Because I still think that like what has made Boston's defense good all season has been him. And obviously, they're still a good defense. Marcus Smart is still like top 3 perimeter defender in the league. And it's awesome not to just give it to the big man who gets a lot of rebounds and a lot of blocks. But I still don't think he's the best defender on this Boston Celtics roster.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Another point that Doris made in her, like, why she was giving it to who she was giving it to was she was also taking into consideration that it's a perimeter league.
Yeah.
If we just go to the top performers on the NBA scoreboard, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Maxey, Jokic, Jordan Poole. That's day 1 of the playoffs. That's day 2 of the playoffs. That's day 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
If we go to day 2 of the playoffs, Gallinari, Robinson, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, Vucevic, Giannis, Valanciunas, Chris Paul. If you go to today, Anunoby, Maxey, Mitchell, Brunson, Jokic, Poole. If you remove Jokic, all of those other players have been wings and guards. Aside from Siakam and Giannis. And I think that that's something that needs to be taken into consideration as well. And obviously, some fucking bullshit counter argument's going to be made like, well, look, all the guards are scoring, so the wing D must not be good. Shut up if you thought that.
That's idiotic. Though. Like, you could refute that instantly. Like, okay, go look at a center's field goal percentage, and then go look at a guard's field goal percentage. Yeah. Guarantee you the centers is better 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. The thing, this isn't even a counter, but I was talking, man, Sean Carroll keeps coming up. I was talking about him, with him about this earlier, is like, you would never give, Nate Duncan was like, you know, nobody in the league thinks that Smart is a better defender than Rudy. You know, that's why Rudy Gobert's got the Supermax and Marcus Smart is on whatever he's on. But then it's like, you're never going to make a really good perimeter guard defender like the focal point of your franchise. Just by the nature of how it works. You are going to make like a really, really good defensive center the focal point of your franchise because like, you know, you can plan your whole defense around them. Whereas like a good perimeter defender, Drew Holiday, and Mikal Bridges, Marcus Smart, that's like, you know, that's an added bonus. That just like brings your team up across the board. So I think that's a really stupid argument to make that because Rudy Gobert has paid more money, he's the better defender. But I also take the point about I will still accept that point about how centers are like more important to like team defenses. Yeah. In one way. Yeah. But we need to recognize guards more.
Yeah. Also, you can refute the money, like how much someone gets paid so many times. There's so many instances that you can say, well, that guy's obviously getting paid too much. Yeah. Like, that guy's getting paid too much for a reason. Yeah. That guy's getting paid so much more than the other guy who's playing better. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a bad argument.
Yeah. That was the point I was trying to make.
All right.
Fuck you, Nate. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Any closing phrases or anything like that?
No closing phrases.
All right. Cool. We'll see you next week.
See ya.